everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel, Noob Readers. My name is Kiran and in this video, I'm going to be reviewing the Arlong arc, which is basically the 5th arc in the East Blue Saga. Now, this was the longest arc so far because it starts off from chapter 69 in volume 8 and ends at chapter 95 in volume 11. Now, this was my favorite arc so far. I thought that I've said that for Baratie, but no. I think this one is literally the best arc so far. I had so much fun while reading it and I just can't wait to talk about this. Now, my rating for this arc would be 5 out of 5 stars because oh my god, I just love it so much. Now, before actually going into the review, I would like to take a moment to appreciate these covers because oh my god, I just love them so much. They are just so beautiful. This is volume 8 and then we have volume 9. It's just so pretty. Then we have volume 10, which is again so pretty, and then my favorite one, which is this, which is volume 11, because I just love the character designs over here. So without further ado, let's begin the review. So the Arlong arc starts off where Baratie ended. So Usopp, Luffy and Sanji are going after Zoro, Usopp and Johnny so that they all can bring Nami back. Now Nami has gone after Arlong, therefore we are also going after Arlong. Now during this journey, Usopp tells us about the most important information about this world, which is basically the 3 main powers of this world. Now he actually kind of talks about only one, which is the 7 warlords of the sea. Now these are the 7 most important pirates out there, the most powerful ones, because they are the ones that are recognized by the government and they help the government out in capturing the other pirates so that in exchange they don't get captured. Now this was like a very interesting dynamic that we have. So yeah, that was like really interesting to read about, and the fact that Mihawk is one of them is just amazing, because if you have seen my Baratie review, I just love that character so much and I just cannot wait to see him again. And the fact that there are 6 more like him, oh my god, just tell me about them already. I just love this information. The second power could be the world government, I guess, but yeah, we have no idea about the third one. So yeah, and then we are also given more information about Arlong and how Arlong is literally on the level of one of the warlords. It kind of like sets up that, okay, we are going after the enemy that's like way powerful than all the enemies that we have seen so far. Arlong is literally the cruelest villain that we have seen so far, definitely, because oh my god, he is the kind of guy who's a racist, first of all, yeah, because he's a fisherman, so he thinks that fishermen are way more superior than humans because humans just do not have that much power, they do not have the ability to breathe underwater, and they're just overall weak in comparison to the fishmen. I really liked how Oda decided to add the issue of racism in his story, like how he added the issue of starvation and hunger in the Baratie arc. But there is also this one thing that makes him very interesting in comparison to all the other villains like Captain Kuro or Don Creek, and that is Arlong also has a lot of compassion for his own crew, which is something that I have not seen in all the previous villains that we have seen so far. So I think that Arlong has a lot more depth in comparison to all the villains that we have seen so far. So yeah, so I think that's what makes him a lot more interesting to read about. Okay, so now let's talk about Nami, because I think this arc was about Nami. This arc was all about Nami's backstory and what makes Nami who she is. So far, I just kind of thought of Nami as a thief and we just didn't get a lot from her because she's just there. She hasn't done a lot for me to actually be invested in her character, but after this particular arc, I feel so much more connected to her and I kind of feel that I know her and I just kind of like her so much more. Now we cannot talk about Nami without talking about Bellemere. Now Bellemere is Nami's mother and she is such a strong female character. Like I just loved how Oda has created her as a fighting sailor and as a soldier. Now the fact that she is not the real mother of Nami and Nojiko is what gets me, and I think it's the whole trope of found family. Now found family is a trope that I just personally really love to read about because I just love the whole concept of you finding someone who becomes a part of your family and that person is even more important to you than your own blood relatives. So yeah, this whole concept is so beautiful. And the fact that Bellemere took Nami and Nojiko when they were just babies and she raised them and she just loves them just like her own daughters is what makes it so special. And the fact that she loses her life because she decides to pay for Nojiko and Nami, and she decides to sacrifice herself because Arlong came to their village, the Coco village, and he kind of like took over the village and was demanding money, which he calls the protection money. And because Bellemere doesn't have the money for all three of them, she has to give the money for just the two children, so she decides to sacrifice herself to save her own daughter. Now there was this one panel where Bellemere is just holding the gun at Arlong and he's there on the ground, and that panel is just so beautiful because it just shows that okay, she is just so powerful. I felt so happy when I saw that. Bellemere deserved better, but I totally understand why she did it. I understand she did it for her own daughters because she loved them so much. Apart from Bellemere, I think the other character that I want to talk about is Nojiko also, because Nojiko is the older sister of Nami and she has been always there as a support system for Nami. You just know that she just loves Nami so much. And the fact that when Nami gets a tattoo, just to be there for her, Nojiko decides to get a tattoo. It's so sad, but it's just something that an older sister would do, and she is literally a support system for Nami. She's just always there for her in the village, and Nojiko is just such an important character also because of whatever that she did for Luffy and how she with Ganzo kind of like protected Luffy's life. So yeah, Nojiko is also like a side character that kind of left an impression on me because of how amazing character she is. So the next character that I want to talk about is Luffy. Now in this particular arc, I saw a completely different side of Luffy. It's just so interesting to me that he is the kind of character who can read people. Like he's just so good at telling people's emotions without the people actually telling him that how they are feeling. Like it's so interesting to me because earlier, before actually reading this arc, I was just thinking of Luffy as a character who's like insanely powerful and also kind of takes care of his crew a lot and kind of loves his crew a lot. But after this arc, I just know how much Luffy can understand people's emotions. And the fact that Luffy decided not to listen to Nami's past says so much about his character. Why she's doing what she's doing, he just does not care. He's like, I'm here to help her out and I'm gonna help her. And what she did in her past is not going to change that. And the fact that when Luffy and Arlong were fighting and then they go in the room and he saw the blood on it, he just knew instantly. He just knew that this is what's making her sad and this room is the problem. And I just loved how first thing that he throws out is the desk, because that's where Nami used to sit and draw those maps. And the fact that Luffy has no idea about this, but he still managed to get this feeling that she hates this room is what makes it so interesting. I just love how Luffy is just able to get Nami so well without Nami telling him all of this. And then the entire Arlong Park get destroyed with Arlong, obviously. And he defeats Arlong. So yeah, this particular arc gave me so much information about Luffy, and now I just love Luffy so much more because I think now I understand him so much more. And of course there is this one panel which I think would be my favorite moment of this particular arc, where Nami is literally just crying. She says that help me Luffy, and this is the point where she asks for help and Luffy just puts the hat on Nami and then she just starts crying. Oh my god, that moment is so cute, where he says yes I'm gonna help you. And yeah, that was like the best moment for me. So yeah, Luffy was literally the best character in this particular arc. I just love him so much. Oh my god. So the next character that I would like to talk about is Zoro. Okay, so if you have been seeing my videos, you would know that Zoro is like my favorite character. Here he fights one of the Arlong pirate, that is Hachi. Now I do have to say that Hachi is a very cute cute villain. I think if he was not the part of the Arlong Pirates, I would have loved him so much because of his personality. Hachi is just so sweet. Like, even though I was rooting for Zoro because obviously we want our crew to win, but Hachi was so cute too. So this whole 3-sword versus 6-sword style was just, it was so fun to see. But obviously Zoro defeats Hachi. This particular arc kind of like solidifies Zoro's promise to Luffy of never getting defeated again. So yeah, it was great. Okay, so the next character that I would like to talk about is Sanji. Now, what makes Sanji so interesting is he's the latest member to the crew, but his love and devotion for Luffy is a lot. Like, yeah, I mean, the fact that Sanji decides to go into the water because he knows that Luffy is just holding his breath and he can actually die, and without actually caring about his own life. Even if he has not spent so much time with Luffy, he still cares so much about him. So yeah, I just love that. Now, at the same moment, the pirate Kurubi also jumps into the water. Now, because he's a fisherman, he does not have any issues with the breathing. Whatever that Kurubi did to Sanji was just so scary. The way he was not letting him breathe by, coming out of the water. Now, obviously, the human body cannot deal with the change in the pressure if it's done very rapidly. This was just so torturous to read. I was just so scared for Sanji. I'm like, oh my god, is he okay? Is he gonna be okay? But the fact that Sanji could actually get out of this situation because he could actually think about a solution kind of shows how strong Sanji is, how mentally strong he is. So yeah, he still manages to come out of the water and kind of defeat Kurubi. So the next character that I'm going to talk about is Usopp. Now, so far, Usopp has just been a coward. He has not shown any amazing things so far. Like, yeah, he was just there. I think he has not proven himself yet, but this is the arc where we see some development for his character. He was actually playing dead when he was facing one of the fishermen because he was just so scared of them and he thinks that he cannot stand up and fight. This actually made him embarrassed, and which is so interesting because he's like, oh my god, I am such a coward, and just look at Zoro and Sanji and whatever that they're doing to protect Luffy, and what am I doing? And I just don't deserve to be a pirate in their crew. He gets a lot of motivation from this and he says that no, I have to do something. I have to fight because I also want to be worthy of being a crew member. The way that Usopp managed to use his tricks and his Usopp hammer and actually managed to win was something that gave me a lot of happiness. Like, I was happy for Usopp because I was like, yes,
go for it, Usopp, go for it.
The fact that he understands that if he tries, he can also win, that was such a beautiful moment for Usopp, and I think this gave so much character development to his character and I loved it. I'm like, yes, Usopp, yes, you can also do it. Okay, so now I would like to talk about one thing that kind of irritated me throughout this arc, and that was how Luffy gets his foot stuck in the ground on his own. Like, I was like, oh my god. Yeah, I mean, that's unbelievable for me, and it's also really stupid. Like, yeah, it was just so stupid. I'm like, how can you get your foot stuck on your own? Like, yeah. So these are my thoughts about all of the characters, and I hope that I have managed to talk about all of them, especially the important ones, I guess. And I think this particular arc was just so beautiful because it ended with Luffy defeating Arlong and ending this terror and saving all the villagers that were under the control of Arlong Pirates. All of our crew members are going on this journey of the Grand Line. Now I'm so excited to know how things are gonna go next in the Loketown arc, so I just can't wait to start reading next. Yeah, I'm just loving this so much. I just love this particular arc a lot. It's the best arc so far and I just can't wait to read further. So these are my thoughts, and if I have left something that you think is important, do let me know in the comments down below. And if you like this, don't forget to give it a like, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye. Take care.